The LG G6 takes the position of a true 2017 flagship smartphone with its waterproof design featuring a nearly bezel-less display. It's extremely impressive, but so is the OnePlus 5 being arguably the fastest smartphone in the world with an amazing set of cameras. In this video we're putting both of these flagships up against each other to see which one is better, and since they now share almost the same price tag, this one is going to be really interesting. There are full reviews on both of these phones out on my channel already, so you can check them out by clicking the white button in the top right and then come right back here. So kicking things off with their displays, the LG G6 comes featuring the newer bezel-less design with an 18:9 aspect ratio at Quad HD resolution. That makes the experience using the screen amazing because you can fit so much more on the screen like this, and it nearly feels like you're just holding a display, which is really good considering its price. It works well for media consumption and daily use with its vibrant colors and clarity, but the OnePlus 5 also works fairly well for both, with its more mainstream but still very functional 1080p display. It doesn't exactly bring anything new to the table, but it works very well, and honestly the extra pixels on the G6 won't make a huge difference in your daily use because of how good OnePlus actually built their display. The main difference here will be the somewhat outdated design choice for the OnePlus 5 to not cut off those top and bottom bezels, but if that isn't important to you, then both are really good choices and it's hard to pick between them. As for performance, the OnePlus 5 easily takes it with its faster processor and more RAM, which means that it runs extremely well and it's close to being the fastest smartphone in the world right now. The G6 is also pretty good with the slightly older Snapdragon 821 compared to OnePlus's 835, and honestly the difference isn't huge, but it is there, so if speed matters to you like it does for me, you are going to love the OnePlus 5. That's tied into the software experience because both phones run really close to stock Android, but the OnePlus 5 even more so, which is why we're seeing better performance. Both LG and OnePlus have brought some really interesting features to the table with their software experience, like the option to have a software button to bring down the notification center without reaching the top, and being able to double tap on the home button to see notifications on the OnePlus. There's a lot of customization on both phones, but the OnePlus 5 comes out on top here because of all the extra things they've included, like gestures to turn on the flashlight, which are completely customizable. It also includes a textured slider to put your phone into Do Not Disturb mode, which is a really convenient feature that we don't really see on phones these days. That said, the LG software experience also has some really interesting features of its own, and it does come down to what you would prefer at the end of the day, but I feel like OnePlus does offer some more things while keeping it closer to stock Android, which is why I prefer that software experience. Now that said, the LG G6 also has a bunch of other features that the OnePlus 5 doesn't, like its IP68 certified dust and water resistance. That means you can use this phone in pretty much any condition you like without being concerned about damaging your phone, which is a huge plus that I always say should be standard in all phones. We don't even get an official IP rating from OnePlus, which means that you really don't want to get it wet just to be safe, but it can really limit your usage as well. And it's just one more thing that you have to stress about when you're using the OnePlus 5. One thing you don't have to stress about with the OnePlus 5 though is your battery life, because with dash charging, you can top up a full days of charge in just 30 minutes, which is an absolute game changer if you've never had it before. It means you don't need to charge overnight anymore, and you can just charge it for a short while in the morning before you head out for the day, and you will be completely fine. As for the cameras, both phones have done really interesting things here because LG included a super wide angle lens option which allows you to pack in a lot more into your shots compared to just a regular lens. Images also come out clearer with the dual lens system, and we see something similar on the OnePlus 5. While you don't get a wide angle lens option, you also get something which in my opinion is way better, because you can use portrait mode to take some amazing shots with a blurred out background. This brings the camera up to par with $1,000 DSLRs, but it really does depend on what you prefer in terms of having a wide angle lens option or blurring out the background a little bit like the OnePlus 5. The front facing cameras on both work really well, but with LG you also get a wide angle lens option there, which is great for group selfies, and we unfortunately don't see anything special on the OnePlus 5. As for the build and design, this again comes down to your own personal preferences. The G6 has a glass back, which means it supports wireless charging, and while both do have really nice build designs, I am loving what they did with the OnePlus 5 around the back. That said, with the much better display on the G6, I think that it overall has a slightly better design, but again, this really does come down to what you prefer. So overall, this is a really tough choice, because you get a lot with both phones, and considering that they're priced almost the same, it makes the decision even harder. Personally, I would go for the OnePlus 5 because of its faster performance, for example a fingerprint scanner that can unlock your phone faster than the blink of an eye, and also the extra things like portrait mode and the software experience. Now the extra speed you get on the OnePlus 5 is minimal, but it really does matter to me a lot, so I'm willing to sacrifice even that display and waterproofing on the G6, but if it doesn't matter to you as much, then it does make sense to go for the G6 because you still get a lot of premium features for a very low price. But guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'm out. Peace.